I was happy with the day Jeff came back after having the concussion. I thought he came back and really played extremely well in the game for what we needed for him to do. As a team, though, too many turnovers, too many miscues on a night where I didn't think we looked very well playing together. I thought we were a little bit unselfish on the floor, and when you do that, you just don't look good, and you can't take care of the basketball when you're not sharing the ball and looking for people. And it was one of those games where too much breakdown, too much one-on-one stuff, and it cost us because I thought this was a game that we certainly could play with them, and we didn't do it. They took advantage of those miscues. If we remember early in the year, the areas that we really struggled were the unforced turnovers, or just turnovers in general, that gave you easy buckets. They got 20 points off for turnovers, and several of those were easy buckets. We were okay in the second shot category because you only gave up 7 points. But then when you think about the bad shots that were taken in the game, a lot of bad shots, and usually when you have bad shots, they leave the bad transition defense. So there was our nemesis from early in the year, came back on us again, and we just didn't play well in the game.
So you said, back in February, and you continue to say that take care of the ball, block out, take good shots. Those are sort of your 3 keys. Why is this continuing to be a problem? Is it something you guys can't get out of your own way, or like tonight, was Oregon doing something that was really, messing you up?
It's definitely us and not being able to get out of our own way, because Oregon doesn't have anything to do with us running offense and sharing the ball and one more and finding that open man. There's some guys that are pressing out on the floor, and when you press, you start to look bad. It almost looks like you don't know how to play the game at times because there are plays to be made and we don't make the play. So that's taking nothing away from Oregon. He has a tremendous shot blocker inside, but there are a lot of plays out on that floor that we could have made. When you've got 17 turnovers, that's a difficult pill to swallow. They're playing against a team, any team in this conference, you're going to turn it over like that, with a lot of those turnovers being up front.
Down the stretch of the first half, of them sort of going on a little bit of run there, and then going into halftime, they sort of were able to continue it. What was your message to the team at halftime, and was it change anything up or stay with the flow?
We didn't close the half very well. Didn't play very smart. We gave up 3 threes, and we gave up the Robo misses the layup. They come down and score a layup, and Pritchard gets the drive with 5 seconds to go right to the bucket, and that was on us. So we talked about being smart, and here was an opportunity where we could get back in this game because they've been a team that have given up leads before. So the focus really was on us, settling down, running better offense, taking better shots, and our defense actually was good enough in the game. I thought our offense was terrible in the game.
And the adversity, from the last 2 games and now into this one, is there any strategy you have to regroup and just kind of put this behind you?
The biggest thing is we have the seniors' last game on Saturday, and you would hope that's a rallying cry, not just for the seniors, but for the guys around them, too. This is the last time they play in Beasley. Coop's done a good job being here. Hasn't been on the floor a lot, but he's done a good job. When you talk about Robo and Viante, they've done an outstanding job here. And just in terms of their play, the development, all 3 of them will graduate. So you would hope on a senior's last day that you would have your energy and your focus the right way.
Just how much do you view the last week of conference play as sort of a barometer heading into the Pac-12 tournament? And does this recent run have you concerned at all about where this team is at on and off the floor?
Why off the floor? I don't understand. We say on and off the floor.
You mentioned after the Stanford game that there were some things brewing in the locker room. I don't know if
not a lot of things brewing in our locker room, no. I think the fact that on the floor is where we're at right now. It's not so much off the floor as it is on the floor when you get out there to play. I think when you look at this team, everybody laughs and jokes off the floor. But when you get on the floor, you got to be focused. You got to be together. We were obviously a much different basketball team, playing down in the desert, coming out of that, playing home against Washington, playing Colorado. When we lost Jeff, I thought it knocked us out of whack. Now all of a sudden we're out of rhythm. Jeff did a good job in the game. We got to give him some more reps. Carter needs some more reps in the game as well too, because we need that extra score out there on the floor.
CJ set a new school record for points by a freshman today. Just what have you seen from him this year?
I don't know how much more I can talk about him. I've talked about him quite a bit, and just in terms of his competitive nature, his feel for the game and all his skill set, the fact that he can break people down off the dribble, score that way, shoot threes. He does a lot of things. That's very unusual for a freshman to do that. But I've got to look at us as a basketball team as a whole. Even though Robo's putting up some amazing numbers, and he's NBA's looking at him. CJ as a freshman been outstanding. But as a team, there are things that we can do. We've gotten away from doing that really got us to the point where we were playing pretty good basketball down in the desert against UW, against Colorado. We need to get back to those things quick. So to get back to the question about looking at going into the tournament and everything, we started way back before we went to Arizona, before we played UW. We had that one game in 1 week. We started preparing for the Pac-12 tournament with some extra conditioning and doing those things. And with 4 guys going out with concussions, it really knocked us out of whack. So as we get healthier and get back in the rhythm, we got one more game to play before we get on a plane and go to Vegas, that we've got to figure some things out.